a big part of it is constantly reinforcing that we don't put inputs into our brain that could harm us, that are ungodly, that could make us think differently. And we take the time to teach our kids how our minds work and how input works and how it can influence you, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. If you hear it too many times or see too many things, you can't get that stuff out of your head.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're finishing up. We just ended where Greg had taught the kids that they could use mouthwash instead of toothpaste and put a little water on their toothbrushes.
Silly.
So I don't have much more to say about that, except that's just not right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't want to beat a dead horse here. But
all right. Okay. We're going to beat around the bush, though. About
so much beating going on.
I'm going to beat around the bush that you think I have hygiene issues here, apparently. Right? Is that what this is right now? You're the one who had daughters not washing their hair, too.
That's probably because the boys taught them. You put it in the water with a bar of soap.
You know, girls, they seek out boys for, beauty advice all the time. Right? Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. All right. How about a couple more standards here?
Yeah.
How about this one? How about that we are unselfish? And specifically what I mean is like teaching our kids that wherever you're at in an environment, it's not just about you, So, like for instance, sometimes you'll walk into a Panera Bread and you'll see the kid who didn't get his way. So now he's laying on the floor throwing a tantrum, right? I mean, teaching our kids that, first of all, that is not how this is ever going to work. And if it ever does, they know what they get, right? And it doesn't get delayed. It happens right there. But on top of that, also explain to them, we would even use other kids' examples when that would happen. Be like, how much does that affect everybody else's quality of their meal right now? How much does that affect precious family time for other people that are spending good money here? That kid over there doesn't understand that this is way bigger than just them, and the parents need to help them understand that. And the parents need to understand themselves that what's happening right now is affecting that environment, right? And so these kind of things are huge. Other parts of being unselfish, I think, is just being proactive. We try to teach our kids that a lot. You're in an environment and all of a sudden whoever's in charge says, hey, we need to clean up. Don't be the one kind of lingering, playing with toys until the end while everybody else cleans up, because there's always examples like that. Be proactive. Say, I'll start. Even though I'd like to play more, I'll be the first one. What else can I help with?
Yeah, I think about a couple stories when the kids were really young, and I would go, grocery shopping or run errands with them. And, I'm taking 5 kids 4 and under out to run some errands, which, is not easy all the time, to do all that. It's a little exhausting just, getting into the store, let alone everything you got to do in the store. And I think every kid did it at least once, I can tell you, that because of their actions, we had to leave the store.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to
leave the store and handle it. Yeah.
I had to leave the store and then leave it just permanently. Like I did this groceries and I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to give you all these. I'll have to pick them up later. I have to take care of my kid and go to the car. And I will just tell you, it was just exhausting to watch the other kids watch. Oh my gosh. We all have to leave because of that one child misbehaving, my brother or my sisters misbehaving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or for me, it was so exhausting. I did all this work and now because of your behavior right now, I can't even finish the grocery shopping.
Right.
Because I have to go take care of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so we just, or when we go out to dinner as a family, it starts with your own family unit, right? So it's like, not every time do you like the place we choose to eat. It's just this, that, but you know what? We're making a decision for the masses here. This is where we're going to eat. And you don't get to throw a fit just because it doesn't have maybe your favorite chicken nuggets on there. You know what I mean? You get to find something you like. And if you don't, then you get to sit there happily until we get home and make yourself something else, because you're not going to ruin the rest of our time, or, just because you're tired doesn't mean you get to behave a certain way, or because, you were upset about something.
Right.
And so I think it starts like young like that. And I will tell you also, I think when other episodes happen with other families that you see out there, not anybody you even know sometimes, talk to your kids about it. Ask them, be like, what did you think about that? What do you think about what that child was doing, or how they talked to their parent, or how they made that environment? Make your children understand what it looks like to be a person to make an environment healthy and what it looks like to make one unhealthy. But also, I will tell you, one of the things we've had to teach our kids, and I'm doing it now, even with my big kids, is because they are so good at being unselfish in this arena and being aware of other people.
Now they take it to extreme almost.
They take it to extreme, and they almost put themselves at a disadvantage. I mean, we just had an episode with tennis yesterday.
Yeah, it was the first day of the twins'
tryouts,
freshman year tennis in high school, right? So, yeah.
Yes, and they were trying out for the JV team,
Yeah.
and there was an A team and a B team.
It's a big school. I mean, there's a lot of people participating.
I mean, there was probably 70 kids out there.
Just for JV.
Right, just for JV. And our kids are, they're great athletes, and they work hard. And like Greg said in a previous episode, respectful, honoring of coaches. And we had gotten them some extra training for tennis, and they were looking strong going into these tryouts. I will just tell you. But both of ours were asked, so anybody that has played tennis 3 years or younger, come over here, and anyone kind of 3 years and over, go over here.
That was the initial cut for the A to the B team.
Correct.
Right.
And our kids were like, well, I think we probably should go down to B. We'll let everybody, they'll see us. They just kind of like, for lack of a better word, put themselves like in a position to not feel like they should step up. Yeah.
And the reality is they've been playing tennis for 4 to 5 years, right?
Correct.
And between skills things and personal instruction, and even I don't know how many hundreds of times I've been out there working with them.
Correct. But they didn't even want to, they wanted to be unselfish and let somebody else get a chance.
Yeah.
Because they kept telling me, well, Mom, some of the people that didn't make the varsity wanted to be on the AJV team. And I was like, okay, but maybe they weren't even qualified for the AJV team, babe. And you already disqualified yourself and put you down in B. I said, so in the future, next time what I want you to do is remember your qualifications, put yourself in the A, and ask the coaches will let you know if you need to come down to B.
That's right.
So put yourself in a position to win. But on the flip side, and side note, I was proud of them because I think after they played for a while, it kind of dawned on them.
They're a lot better than they realized.
Correct.
Compared to other kids.
And they really, it dawned on them a little bit. And Bella got kind of asked to, come on up, let's see you down here on the A team. Abby was doing just as good. And at the end, when they were kind of making the final cuts, Abby just kind of went up to the coach and was like, I just want to let you know, I think I'm doing pretty well. And I'd like to be on the A team too with my sister. And I'll be your best player out there. And the coach was like, absolutely. Like, that's exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, so good. So anyway, so that's some of our standards. I think another one is, I would say, how to present yourself with a healthy self-image. And for us, I can think of simple examples, but they're powerful. And, we teach people how to make eye contact. We teach our kids how to make eye contact with people. We teach them how to shake someone's hand at a very young age. We teach them how to introduce themselves properly when a guest comes over or when they're somewhere, right? And that I thought it might be valuable to even share a little bit about how we do that, because the reality is, it doesn't just happen. Like I've watched people that their kids have zero education in this. So, they're like, hey, this is my son, Billy, over here. And you're like, hey, Billy. And he'll just like walk the other way, or he'll just hang on to his mom's leg, or he'll just almost pretend like you don't exist. And then, oh, he's just shy, right? Or something like that. Then we've had the other side where someone who does a little bit better than that, where it's like, hey, here's Billy. And then I'll be like going to shake his hand or something. And hey, you need to shake his hand. Like, here's what you do. And they like start trying to instruct him right then and there, which isn't horrible. But I think the third way is probably the best, which is when we know we have people coming over. Hey, listen, people are coming over in 30 minutes. Guys, let's practice this. How will you introduce yourself? Okay. How will you say it? And, what do? It's like, hi, my name is Abby. It's very nice to meet you. And then Bella's like, hello, my name is Bella. Great to meet you. Something like that. And we would have them do it over and over. And then we'd wait 5 minutes and say, okay, I'm the new guest. Introduce yourself to me. And then make them all do it again. Remember we would do this all the time?
Right. And we still do with Hunter. But I think that if we don't teach our kids how to do this stuff, naturally their self-images start tanking. Like, I don't even think we realize what happens. Like, so many times they'll be like, oh, your kids are so polite, or they are so respectful, or they'll come right up to me and introduce themselves. That's not because we just, like my children were born with all these ability to do these things in qualities like this. This took time. And then so when they didn't do it right, when we got back in the car, hey guys, gosh, it was really fun hanging out there, wasn't it? Here's a couple things we'd like to improve on for next time though. And we didn't embarrass them, and we didn't make them feel stupid, but we took it as it was our responsibility. We didn't prep our kids well enough to go into something. So it's again, I think if we just help our children, their self-images will go up, 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 and that's what we want, right? We want our children to feel confident in all areas of their life. Mm-hmm. And I think when we don't equip them correctly, we're giving them such disservice. And by default, then they won't go out there and feel confident to accomplish whatever it is they want to accomplish in life.
Yeah, and we put all this energy in, right? And so then our kids, they do a good job with it. And then here's what really happens. Here's where the self-image development really happens, I think. One, when adults are so surprised by how they know how to do this. And so then when they get that, and let's say the adult is like, wow, you did a great job. And wow, that's a great handshake. Geez, you make such great eye contact. You watch their self-image going up like, man, this is awesome. I know what to do. I know what to be. This is such positive reinforcement. Even to the extent it gives us credibility. My mom and dad really put us in an advantage. I'm so glad that my mom and dad teach us. They've told us this so many times. We're so glad you teach us this stuff. We're so glad you take the time. It makes us feel so comfortable when we're around other people. We know what to do, right?
Right, and it also helps them to want to listen to us more.
That's right.
How many parents want their kids to listen to them? Well, you got to teach them what to do so they want to come back and get more information from you. Mm-hmm. If you don't teach them things that they can get good results from, they're naturally not going to seek you out. Mm-hmm. And so, we try to stay on it because we want our children to learn from us so that they feel like they can confidently keep coming back to us as more challenges arise. Because it's not going to be as simple all the time as, hey, mom, I didn't really know what to say to this person. The challenges are going to get, deeper and deeper as they get older because life is hard, But if we can help them with the little, they'll start asking us questions when they're really big questions.
Yeah, that's good. One last standard I think I'd want to address, I think is a big one. Our whole podcast is about how to raise champion kids in a crazy world. Well, one of the most crazy things going on is just unending bad input, right? From every direction. There is zero responsibility from people who produce media to have any care at all as far as making sure that our kids are developed properly. And in fact, it's kind of the opposite. They manipulate kids and their mental states in order to be able to sell products or cast fear or create control or whatever it is. And it is what it is, right? So fine, we can't necessarily stop some of these people that are exposing that kind of evil to the world, but we can teach our kids how to live in that world. And a big part of it is constantly reinforcing that we don't put inputs into our brain that could harm us, that are ungodly, that can make us think differently. And we take the time to teach our kids how our minds work and how input works and how it can influence you, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. If you hear it too many times or see too many things, you can't get that stuff out of your head. And so then it creates all this other level of challenges. So the thing we need to do, the thing the word tells us to do, is just to avoid it. And so now that's a big one because it's everywhere. Because most kids, especially you get to be like our teenagers' kids' age now, all their friends have phones. They don't even have restrictions on anything. They're watching crazy stuff. They're listening to worse stuff. Listen to some lyrics and songs, and so our kids are like having to be people who can stand against that and avoid that, even if they get peer pressured into saying you're kind of weird or you're too uptight or whatever. But it's a big one. It's a big one to constantly reinforce. And it is too bad. But
I think one of the things about that is really helping our kids see the future.
yeah.
Like, I will just tell you, I mean, maybe you guys can all relate to this, but when you were in grade school and high school, like, it felt like it was your world. Like, that was your world. That, like, nothing moved past this season right now. And so fitting in or listening to the right, quote unquote, right things that other people were listening to, not the proper things, not the healthy things, just whatever was making you feel accepted, or doing things to make you feel accepted, felt like it was your world. And if you weren't accepted and you didn't feel accepted, like, then, oh my gosh, you were weird. Oh my gosh, you weren't going to, be able to do anything in life. You were a loser, And I just got to tell you, I think talking big picture with our kids about what really matters long term, what it looks like when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on, matters. Because then your kids see a bigger picture than what their little, like, emotional brains can handle in that little season of life. And I remember, for me, I remember feeling so, like, suffocated sometimes, thinking this was my world. And if I don't fit into it right, I may never fit in anywhere. And that's just so far from the truth.
Yeah.
Like the younger years are a season. They're a gift, and they're to be enjoyed, but not at the expense of what it can ruin for you for your future. And if you are listening to the wrong things or watching the wrong things or associating with the wrong people, it could influence how your future turns out.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents, we have got to care enough about our kids to teach them what the future looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's big, and even just as parents and adults, how much we have to monitor ourselves to stay on track, because we're getting bombarded constantly, and it's exhausting, And so, but anyways, this is great, honey. I think we could probably do another section on this in the future,
For sure.
About how to actually increase self-image for our kids. We'll probably shift for the next few episodes, but I'm glad that you're not beating around the bush about beating the dead horses anymore. And, so.
I don't even understand.
All right. Until next time.
All right.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.